What if I told you that the London you see the iconic skyline, the bustling streets, the red double-decker buses is just the surface? What if the real secret history of this metropolis lies hidden, buried deep beneath your feet? Below the pavement is a world of forgotten rivers, lost Roman cities, secret war rooms, and ghost-like railways. A city on top of a city on top of another city. Today, we are not just visiting London. We are peeling back its layers one by one, descending into a history that most people will never see. This journey will change the way you look at this city, and perhaps every city forever. If you love uncovering hidden worlds and untold stories, you're in the right place. Make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell because you won't want to miss the secrets we unear together. Now, take a deep breath. Our descent begins. Let's start right under our shoes. First, there's the familiar layer of paving stone, about 10 cm thick. Beneath that, another 20 cm of soil and gravel. Then, at a depth of about half a meter, we enter the modern nervous system of the city, a tangled web of electric cables and gas pipelines, the arteries of a living metropolis. But go a little deeper, and the present begins to fade. Our first stop is a place of luxury and relaxation. Hidden in the most unlikely of locations, the basement of an ordinary office building. Here lies the Billingsgate Roman house and baths. Imagine construction workers in 1848 digging foundations for a new coal exchange suddenly strike not rock but mosaic floors. They had stumbled upon a magnificent Roman villa from the 2nd century, complete with underfloor heating. This house once had a beautiful view of the River Thames, which was much wider back then. But when the Romans built a defensive wall along the riverside, the view was lost. What do you do with a prime piece of real estate that no longer has a view? You build a spa. This bathhouse was used until the early 5th century, right before the Roman Empire abandoned Britain. When the Romans left, their great city of Londinium crumbled. Buildings fell, were overgrown, and for 1,000 years, new civilizations built on top of the old, a cycle of construction and destruction. And through it all, through fires, wars, and even the blitz of World War II, this Roman bath house lay sleeping, waiting to be rediscovered. Now let's descend further. About 8 Mended or 26 FT underground. Here, beneath layers of rubble and time, we find the skeletal remains of something truly epic, the London Roman amphitheater. It may not look like much now, just the foundation of a wall and an ancient drainage system. But let your imagination fill in the gaps. Picture this spot in 70 AD. The air is thick with the roar of 6,000 spectators. This wasn't just for entertainment, it was the heart of public life. Here, gladiators fought for their lives. Public executions were carried out, and religious ceremonies took place. The sand covering the arena floor, the very same type we see remnants of today, was there to soak up the blood. Like the bathhouse, the amphitheater was abandoned when the Romans left. Its stone was plundered for other buildings, and it slowly disappeared from memory, buried until modern construction for the Guildhall Art Gallery accidentally unearthed it. Let's venture deeper, chasing after ghosts of a different kind. You could be standing anywhere in London and be just a few steps away from a lost river without ever knowing it. We must go down as much as 11 mm or 30 cft to find them. The river, Fleet, for example, was once a wide flowing river, but as London grew, it became an open sewer, a dumping ground for the city's butchers. Eventually, it was so foul it was bricked over and buried, becoming part of the sewer system. Then there's the River Tyburn, which still flows in a pipe right under Buckingham Palace. It was once so clean it was famous for its salmon. And the River Effra, buried beneath the oval cricket ground, made a dramatic reappearance in the 1950s when heavy rains caused the sewer to overflow and flood the pitch. Dozens of these spectral rivers now flow in darkness, their natural paths, long forgotten, silent witnesses to the city's relentless expansion. Now we sink to 12 minutes or 40 km into the heart of the 20th century's darkest hour. During World War II, as bombs rained down on London, the fate of the free world was being decided. from a secret bunker deep underground. These are the cabinet war rooms. This is where Prime Minister Winston Churchill and his government ran the war. Step inside and you feel the immense pressure. The map room is frozen in time. Its walls covered in maps with pinholes marking the movement of ships and troops. And then there's the cabinet room, where Churchill famously declared, "This is the room from which I will direct the war." For top secrecy, there was even a tiny room disguised as a private toilet, which housed a transatlantic telephone, a direct scrambled line to President Franklin Roosevelt in the White House. When the war ended in 1945, the staff simply turned off the lights, locked the doors, and walked away, leaving everything exactly as it was. That let's continue our descent to 20 Hoeners, or 66 Wadim, and discover a forgotten dream of the Victorian era. Imagine sending a letter, not by truck or train, but by shooting it through a giant underground pipe. Welcome to the London Pneumatic Dispatch Company. Established in 1859, this was a network of subterranean tubes designed to transport mail and parcels in pressurized capsules. These capsules, some weighing up to 3 metric tons, could travel at 60 kilometers an hour, pushed along by huge steam-powered fans. The project was incredibly ambitious, and for a while it worked. The chairman of the company even took a test ride, squeezing himself into one of the capsules and being shot from one station to the next. But the system was plagued with problems. Parcels constantly got stuck, and after just 11 years, the post office abandoned it. The tubes were sealed. Another fascinating failure buried beneath the city. Staying at a similar depth, we find a more successful successor, the Post Office Railway, or Mail Rail. Opened in 1927, this was a private driverless automatic electric underground railroad built for one purpose only: moving mail. At its peak, this miniature subway with its tiny trains carried 4 million letters a day across a 10.5 kilometers track running 22 hours a day. It was a hidden humming artery of communication, but by the early 2000s, with the rise of email, it was no longer cost-effective. In 2003, the mail rail was closed and abandoned, its tunnels falling silent for over a decade before being reborn as a unique museum experience. Now we arrive at a depth of 24 meters in a place millions of people know yet whose origins are just as revolutionary: the London Underground. In the mid-9th century, London streets were in a state of total gridlock. The idea of an underground railway was so radical it was mocked as the drain, and some even claimed the company was trying to dig a tunnel to hell. But on January 10th, 1863, the world's first subway opened. The first trains were wooden carriages lit by gas lamps and pulled by steam locomotives. The tunnels filled with so much smoke that people often felt ill. But it was a resounding success, cutting a 90-minute journey down to just 20. It changed London forever, allowing the city to grow in ways previously unimaginable. Let's go even deeper. At 36 m or 118 ft, we find a stark reminder of a city under siege. During the Blitz, 8 deep-level shelters were constructed beneath existing tube stations. These were vast parallel tunnels, each designed to hold up to 8,000 people on rows of bunk beds. They were cities of survival, built to withstand a direct bomb hit. After the war, they were repurposed in fascinating ways. One became an underground farm for growing herbs. Another served as General Eisenhower's headquarters for planning the D-Day invasion. And one provided the first temporary home for Jamaican immigrants arriving on the HMT Empire Windrush in 1948. They are monuments to resilience hidden far below the surface. Finally, we reach our deepest point from 50 to 80 centimeters underground to confront the city's greatest challenge: its own waste. In the 1850s, the River Thames was a cesspool. All of London's sewage flowed directly into it, creating a smell so horrific. It was known as the Great Stink. The stench was so bad from the Houses of Parliament that politicians were finally forced to act. The solution was one of the greatest engineering feats of the Victorian age. An engineer named Joseph Bazalgette designed a massive 160-kilometer network of interceptor sewers using over 300 million bricks. This system not only saved the Thames, but also helped defeat diseases like cholera. It still functions today. A hidden masterpiece of public health. And right alongside it, we find its modern counterpart, the Thames Tideway Tunnel, a new super sewer built to handle the demands of a 21st century megacity. At this same incredible depth, we also find the Thames Water Ring, a colossal concrete tunnel that acts as the city's main water artery, supplying over 1 billion L of clean water every single day. Hey, as we ascend back to the surface, back to the light and the noise of the modern day, London looks different. It's no longer just one city, but a stack of countless stories, triumphs, and tragedies. Every street you walk, every building you pass stands on a foundation of forgotten worlds. The city is a living museum, and its most incredible exhibits are the ones buried in the dark. The next time you walk the streets of London, listen closely. You might just hear the echoes of the past rumbling deep beneath your feet.